Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about American politics, and I want to talk about the Marvel cinematic universe, and the Marvel comic book universe, and how Marvel tells us how there's a Hollywood truth here. Okay, now what is Hollywood truth? Well, first of all, if you don't know the definition of that term, I have defined that term, and you can find the definition below. Right, so go ahead and check it out there. And so let's talk about the Hollywood truth that has been exposed by the Marvel world. Okay, so tomorrow we're all going to vote. We're all going to vote, in the United States of America, U.S. presidential election, right? And the reality is, the vast majority of us will be voting for someone we despise, right? No one likes Kamala Harris. No one picked her. No one picked her for anything, right? In the primaries, thank you, next, right? Don't put her anywhere near, and then it was astonishing. Biden's numbers were through the floor, and everybody's like, yeah, he's terrible, but Kamala's numbers are worse. And it was an open secret for years that Kamala would do a far worse job than Biden did. And Biden couldn't even speak sentences by the end, right? It was it's really... And also, for the first time ever, we got a president that nobody was even pretending was the president. That's astonishing. So basically, we all want to vote for a hero. But America is not allowed to have heroes anymore. Kamala Harris is a hero to no one, right? Donald Trump is a hero to millions. They are abominable American villains, right? They're just the people who consider Donald Trump a hero, a man who abandoned 2 wives and then abandoned 3 wives. He's still married to the one he's with right now, but has treated her abominably. You wouldn't even treat your worst enemy the way he treats his wife, right? His current wife, right? So he's had 3 wives. I'm strong. I strongly believe Donald Trump despises women. I don't even know why he gets married, right? He treats them abominably, and that's not an opinion. That's literally court record at this point, right? That's a tangible standing fact in American history, right? You could build bricks on it. It's that strong, right? He's treated women horribly during his life. Right? He's owned casinos, which have ruined thousands of lives, right? He's a terrible, terrible person, right? He's a hero to no one, right? And so at this point, then you ask, well, are they villains? Now here's the kicker. Yes, Donald Trump is absolutely a villain. He's a comic book level villain. He does Joker level horrors, right? He's a villain, right? Is Kamala a villain? No, I don't think Kamala's a villain. But what's astonishing, and I don't think any of us were expecting to understand this, is that planned villainy is actually much safer than intended good from people who are neither capable or willing to do good, right? And so, I think that's important to understand about Kamala Harris. She doesn't even have any desire to do good. She can't define good, right? Donald Trump knows what good is, and he runs the other way. He does evil when he knows what good is. The problem with Kamala Harris and with Biden and with every Democrat who is running for every Democrat who's prominent today is they can't define good or evil. And that's where we arrive at Marvel, right? You're like, what do you mean, Scott, they can't define good and evil? That's a terrible thing to say. Do you have any evidence for this? Well, the evidence is where truth lives today. Where does truth live today? Hollywood. You can find truth in Hollywood fiction. If you go to mainstream news, you can only find fiction. Fiction is found under the title news, and truth is found under the title entertainment, right? Now, it's not all that entertainment contains, but it definitely contains truths that are not allowed to be told on the news anymore, which is really astounding. So let's get there. So today we're going to talk about the Marvel Encyclopedia of Characters by DK. Okay, Now, I own an older version of this book. This book has been printed in no less than 3 or 4 different versions, maybe 5, right? It has 1,000 characters in it, and it tells the full sweep of all the characters, villains, and heroes in the Marvel world, right? And my copy, I pull it off the shelf twice a month at least. Right now, I'm using it for a project, and it's literally sits on my table. I look at it 3 times a day, all right? And you go in it, and it's and you look at Iron Man, and it says hero, and you look at Doctor Doom, and it says villain, right? Well, on Halloween, my family has to escape our house, and the reason why is we're evangelical Christians. We don't celebrate Halloween, right? It's the devil's holiday. We're not going to give out candy and say, "Hey, enjoy your to do ties to Satan." Like, we're not going to do that, right? Like, so we have to escape our house. So we went out to Barnes and Noble, and then we went out for a nice dinner. Well, when we went to Barnes and Noble, I sat down and I read the new 2024 Marvel Encyclopedia, the same book I own at home, right? But my book is 10 years old. Guess what? You can go through the entire book, right, of every single character, 1,000 Marvel characters. They don't know who heroes are, and they don't know who villains are. They're not listed, right? On every entry in my book, it says hero, villain, right? Because 10 years ago, we knew what a hero was, and we knew what a villain was. Now, right, Hollywood shows us, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say hero or villain, right? Everybody's just, one bad treatment from their parents away from being misunderstood. Dr. Doom murders people, and Dr. Octopus murders people, and all these villains murder people left and right, right? And then Spider-Man shows up, and Fantastic Four shows up, but it's just people fighting people. There's no heroes, there's no villains. You will not find the hero or villain tag anywhere in the Marvel Encyclopedia of Characters, the DK Marvel Encyclopedia of Characters, because today you're not allowed to say this person is a villain and this person is a hero, right? And if you do, there are severe punishments, right? Which is scary. And we live in a terrifying time, a time where not even comic book villainy can be recognized as villainy. Not even comic book villainy. Doctor Doom is no longer a villain, and Spider-Man is no longer a hero, right? That's where we've arrived. It's astonishing. It is astonishing. And Hollywood shows the truth of it. Hollywood says, don't you dare label someone a hero. Don't you dare label someone a villain. We can all murder left and right. That's not enough to get you called a villain. Just because you murder people, aren't we going to release the Menendez brothers right now? Murder is not enough to qualify for villainy. So what is, right? And that's where you arrive, right? Like, where not even murder qualifies you for the villain tag. It's astounding and terrifying. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion, nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.